What's going on, Washington fans? Final day of training camp has concluded. We also have major BROB rumors. Terry McLaurin was at practice, but he was in no pads. We have tons of updates. We have house cleaning. The house cleaning is the BROB and the Dan Quinn presser, as we always review that. And then we're going to get into some of the play-by-play that we got. Early this morning, Commanders signed a player. We're going to talk about him, but before we do, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. 3 subscribers away from 2,000. Get me there, please. Hit that notification bell as well. So, Washington signed center Nick Harris. He spent 5 years with the Cleveland Browns, 45 games, played 6 starts, missed 2022 with a knee injury, but I didn't want to see Michael Dieter be the backup at the center position behind Tyler Biadasz, because we all know what Michael Dieter was last year, and it was not productive. So I hope Nick Harris can be a good center, and I hope that he can find a way to make the roster and take Michael Dieter's spot, because I'm tired. I don't want to see Michael Dieter. Remember the Commanders log episode? Michael Dieter said, "Thank you for making me right, Jaden." Like, it's ridiculous. So we signed a center. I hope he can be Michael Dieter replacement. Now, if you remember at Ricky Scoops on X, so his name's Ricky on X, he's been known to drop true rumors. He just dropped a rumor about Terry McLaurin on Saturday, and he said Terry McLaurin deal is done. It's being finalized. It's $30 million. He said the bag's coming for Terry McLaurin, and it was wrong, because here we are on Thursday, and the report is wrong. Now, am I saying I trusted it? No, but here comes Ricky again with another tweet saying the Niners, Cowboys, and Texans are also interested in trading for Brian Robinson, but the Dolphins are the front runners to trade for Brian Robinson. I'm not trusting him. Why is everyone running with this guy on Twitter that has no sources? We don't know if all these teams are interested. It would seem like the Cowboys would be interested. They only have the rookie that they signed in the 6th round. I forget his name, Jaden Blue, but I don't think it's true. But apparently the Dolphins are the front runners to trade for Brian Robinson. I don't know. I know B-Rob has interest. I've heard that. But I haven't heard all of these teams have interest. So keep your eyes peeled for something to happen. Either cut or traded. That's going to be what B-Rob is at this point. He's going to get cut or traded. I don't think the team initially wanted B-Rob to know that they were shopping him. But somehow Jordan Schultz found out. And I think Jordan Schultz leaked the news to B-Rob on X. I think B-Rob probably saw it and was like, hold on, y'all trying to shop me? And he was like, nah, I'm getting out of here, bro. And so it was a mutual agreement to miss the game on Monday. And so here we are. And so they have to cut him or trade him, because if you keep him on the team, there's too much animosity there. It's too much awkwardness there. But apparently the Dolphins are the front runner to trade for Brian Robinson. Now, let's get to the practice here. Terry McLaurin was spotted out here working with trainers at practice. For what it's worth, he was wearing red. He had the hood up again, incognito again. Trying to get some people to not recognize him, I guess. But let's get into Dan Quinn's presser, and then we'll get into the play-by-play. So, Zach Selby wrote, Dan Quinn addressing the media, said there will be a unique format for the practice that happened earlier. He said they will focus on a ton of game situations, which is good. You always need those game situations. Dan Quinn also gave an update on Noah Brown. Quinn said, Noah Brown is getting close to returning to play. He said, the arrow is pointing up. Good to hear. We need 85 out there. He's the only other guy besides Terry McLaurin that can stretch the field, go deep, and really be an athlete. Go up and catch the ball, Go down the field, stretch the field vertically. Quinn also said to the players trying to make the roster, don't think about next week, this week. That won't help you play better this week. He said, don't think about next week, which I think is great advice. Think about this week in the now and just do your best, and you might have a shot at making the roster, because they're going to cut the roster down to 53 next week. And there's going to be a lot of guys that are not going to be happy. Quinn said he liked what he saw from Jalen Lane on the outside during the Bengals game, which I think is good. They've been working Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey on the outside more. Those guys are more slot guys to me, but they've been working them on the outside. So We'll see ultimately if Jalen Lane gets any run there in the season, but he did in the preseason game. He looked pretty good. I agree with Dan Quinn. Brandon Coleman, who returned to practice yesterday, was in the starting left guard position during the first 11-on-11 drills today. We need Brandon Coleman out there. We need him to get more experience. We need him to get experience at the guard position. Last year, he played left tackle. He has to get experience kicked inside and how to block those interior pass rushers. So I'm glad he's back out there. We need him back out there. Do not want to see Andrew Wiley in his spot, but if it had to be Andrew Wiley, the value of depth is great. You know, I'm glad we have Andrew Wiley because he can swing everywhere. But Brandon Coleman is back. He should be ready by week 1. Should be good to go by week 1 for sure. He's already back out there. He was starting today at left guard for any of you who need to know. Connerly and Wiley were splitting reps at right tackle. So, again, here's the battle. Connerly, Wiley, they're in a deep battle. I think Wiley has the edge right now, but I also think Connerly, like, they make rookies earn their value, earn their spot. They did it even with Jaden Daniels last year. They made him earn the quarterback position. So, they make these guys earn it. So, I'm not surprised to see Josh Connerly, a first-round pick, battling with Andrew Wiley, and he was getting split reps today at right tackle. Not surprising. Not surprising to me. But I hope Connerly can get that starting spot, but he's just got to work on the fundamentals. He's got to get stronger, and I think if he does that, I think there's definitely a chance for him to start by week 1. I would say Andrew Wiley has the edge right now. I would say he probably has the spot right now because he's been doing it for way longer, and Connerly's 21? So he's got a lot of time to work on his game, but we would love him to start this year. Even if this year he's a depth piece and we just use him in that way, it's fine. He's going to grow into a starter, I do believe. I believe by week 1. Zach Selby, here we go, play-by-play. Only a few updates here because the PR team has said no updates from the beat reporter, so they completely cut that off. But he did say, deep shot to Deebo Samuel from Jaden Daniels. Quan and Sam are still in coverage. We hear a chunk play from Jaden Daniels to Deebo Samuel every single day. What do we hear today? Deep shot from Deebo Samuel and Jaden Daniels. And we saw Monday night the jet sweep. We saw what Deebo Samuel could do. He still got it. I love to see Deebo Samuel, going down the field on Mike Samerstill and Quan Martin. Those are starters. And he's stretching the field vertically on him. So I love it. And Deebo Samuel continues to impress me. I'm excited. I think Deebo Samuel has a big year incoming. To those of you saying he's fat, he's not. He's not. McLaurin was there at practice. He was on the sidelines watching 11-on-11s. As I told you guys, there was no pads and no uniform on, but he was kind of in an incognito mode. I'm really tired of talking about this Terry McLaurin stuff. I am. I'm tired of it. I think that this is ridiculous. I think that this is going on way too far, but I hope they can get something done with Terry McLaurin soon. I mean, I don't really know what else to say on that. I just don't have... Terry McLaurin walked out to the field today. He was with the team doing 11-on-11s. He was chopping it up with the other wide receivers in the room. There was a picture of that, but otherwise, we just don't have any updates, and I don't think either side's budging. I need to see something get done. We can't go in the season without Terry McLaurin on an extension. First off, it's going to be awkward. Second off, that's hard to do. Third off, the team wouldn't end up saving money. They wouldn't end up saving money. If you spread this thing out, you'd rather get a good extension done now. Doesn't mean you pay him $33 million. Doesn't mean you pay him $32 million. Doesn't mean you pay him what he wants. Means you put your final offer out there, and he's probably going to have to accept it because you have all the leverage. The Commanders have all the leverage, as I've said. Every single piece of it. The only piece that Terry McLaurin has is, you guys need me. You need me. I will threaten you. The final card I'm going to throw is I will threaten you. I won't be out there week 1. Then what are you going to do? You're going to have to give me an extension because you need me. And you have no shot of winning a Super Bowl without me. So That's really the final card Terry would play. But if you're Terry, why are you missing games in season when you're under contract? You're throwing your career away. You're 1 year older next year. You're coming off a year of no play. If you miss, you have no one saw what you do. No one saw if you could decline last year. So you're just hurting yourself more if you sit out, to be honest. That's why the team has all the leverage. Even the little bit of leverage that Terry McLaurin has, the team has that leverage. So, but Terry McLaurin was out there today. Last thing is Marcus Mariota. He talked today. Marcus Mariota said he had been dealing with Achilles tendonitis, which is really bad. He said in that rest was the best way to remedy. He did not take part in 11-on-11 work, but was in pads and throwing during individual sessions. He said he's been able to get a lot of work in walkthroughs. That's probably why they've been having a lot of walkthroughs, to be honest with you. But Marcus Mariota was dealing with Achilles tendonitis. So, big stuff there. Interesting stuff there. So yeah, that's the last update we have. BROB, the update on him was a lot of teams are interested in him. I don't know if that's true. Terry was at practice today. He was in incognito mode, but there was no updates on Terry McLaurin today besides that he was on the sideline at 11-on-11s and wasn't dressed. So let's get into what Frankie Louvu said a little bit. Scott Abraham, first off, shout out to him for doing this. He said, cut day is looming. Frankie Louvu won't be playing on Saturday. I asked Frankie about the message he would give to those roster bubble players. Frankie said, leave your last snap on how you want to be remembered. Leave that resume for not just this team, but 31 other teams. I agree, because if you get cut, you can go somewhere else. Someone else can pick you up, right? So, really good stuff there. That's all I got for right now. That is the final training camp practice of the Washington Commanders 2025 campaign. Really sucks, really sad, but I'm ready for the season. So, we need to get this Terry McLaurin deal done. Once we do that, we're good. I hope they get something done, but I just don't know at this point. But that was the final training camp practice, and time flies when you're having fun as a football team. And yes, there was distractions. Yes, there's still distractions, but we have a preseason game this Saturday versus the Ravens. Then after that, it's a little bit of a blank period, and then we're into week 1. I will see you guys at Northwest Stadium week 1. Going to that game. Cannot wait. So, that's going to do it for me. Hail to the Washington Commanders. As always, you guys have a great rest of your day. Final training camp practice for the Commanders ended today. See you in the next one.